Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 Driver Career Mode with McLaren Porsche, episode number 68 today for the Portuguese Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode at Suzuka, I recommend you go and check that one out, because Sainz was left without a front wing on lap 1, which as a result, he only got P10, we got P2, we're 66 points in front now, looking to potentially round out this championship early, like up in Portugal as well, before the final two races in Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Now we've got an Ask the Drivers question, but unusually it's come out of the aero department and not the not the HR department. I don't know, maybe the aero department are cross-flexing because they've actually got nothing to upgrade on their car, and they haven't had anything to upgrade on the car for about 3 years. But anyway, for a team that's a success, obviously the team, you need the right team around you to succeed. What's your biggest passion about Rex? Well, I went with the relaxation one for this one, partly because the car sounds a bit too much like F1, trying to promote F1 life. I don't want to promote that. To be fair, no, it's nice to relax and just play some random games, basically. As well, not work, definitely relaxation would be nice as well. Simple movie, the simple life, not F1 life there. Anyway, away from that, R&D wise, we've had a small upgrade from Porsche, so that's the first upgrade we've had since Austria. That's come in. Ferrari have not had an upgrade, which has allowed Red Bull, Mercedes and Alpine to catch up. Don't know if the rest of the other teams have matched out, although Aston Martin, Mercedes and Williams have also brought an upgrade, presumably Aston Martin to their engine. I don't know. Obviously, Williams, well, that little upgrade will be from Porsche. But yes, moving to qualifying then, we're back at Portimao. It's been a while since, obviously, F1 2021 late career mode. We'll be racing here until the end of this game cycle in career mode, by the way. Just because I don't think this track might not be on F1 23. So anyway, into qualifying, we've originally qualified P9 into turn 1, this lovely flowing track, to say one of the tracks that could arguably be added to the calendar. It doesn't really have the history compared to like a Hockenheim, a Nürburgring or a Kyle Army potentially. But anyway, Sector 1 is good. We actually set purple Sector 1. Unfortunately, Sector 2, the traction out of this corner, I mean the AI, you know how OP they are. They were even more OP at the start of the game. They're slightly less OP now, but they're still OP through these section of corners. Just don't have any pace whatsoever. So the car is also geared up to basically get the most out of sectors 1 and sector 3 as well, and just live with the damage limitation of being terrible through sector 3. See, we're only just slightly up on Hamilton, losing all that time we gained in sector 1 in sector 2. But now we'll try and gain some time back through sector 3. Although bearing in mind the first part of sector 3 still not there, but then out of this corner it's just basically full throttle almost, slightly lifting and holding rather through that final king up to the line. It's only good enough for P9. So yeah, but Sainz is only P7, so he will be the car in front as well. 3/10 off pole, I'll definitely take that. It's very close to the top. Ricciardo taking pole from Leclerc by only 0.05 of a second, so very close at the top. 3/10 top covering the top 10 even as well. This is the two Haas cars struggling in the back with Robert Schwartzman. So anyway, we'll see what we can do. Sainz has got to score his big time today. I don't think he's going to do that. So can we win this World Championship? Let's find out.
Welcome along then to Portimao, one of the busiest towns in the Algarve and a breathtaking destination that brings tourists from all around the world to the shores of southern Portugal. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula One World Championship, and with a circuit this wide, we could be in for a lot of exciting wheel-to-wheel action today. So Portimao features 15 turns over the course of its 2.9-mile length. 9 are right-handers, while 6 are to the left. This is a track with a lot of uphill action, which only accentuates the importance of getting those exits right, especially at turn 4, where a good line can present opportunities to pass on the way into turn 5. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Daniel Ricciardo has a clear view ahead of him from pole position. Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, George Russell and Magnussen, Sainz, Gasly, Phoenix and Lewis Hamilton, Vettel, Ocon, Alex Albon and Bottas, Stroll, Tsunoda, Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher, Schwartzman and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
So here we are down the grid, P9. Our championship rival Carlos Sainz, the only man that can stop us from winning a second world championship in a row, is directly in front of us, starting P7. And just to throw this a little bit in the works, we're going to do the alternate strategy, starting on mediums and going to softs. It's not that much slower, and I think we can make some positions up here. So 5 red lights then to the Portuguese Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's a miserable start as usual on F122. Hamilton's just gone past. We've been squeezed almost around the outside of Hamilton. Gasly's been squeezed off. That's allowed us to get. We've got to give the position back though, as ordered by the FIA. 3 egos down the inside of Sainz's contact. We've got floor damage. What on earth happened there? So as I say, we went round the outside. We had to yield to get the position back to Gasly, and then there was contact with Hamilton, who was being squeezed by Vettel. Is that the Ferrari master plan? You know, a bit wide. I can't. Yeah, I think that's more Vettel's fault than.
The underbody's taken a little damage. Just watch out for it. Tyre condition still looking good.
Excuse me, Vettel's fault than more than Hamilton. We have a look at Gasly at the head. But yeah, we've got side pod damage, which I don't know how badly it's going to affect us or not. Hopefully not too much, but we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, up the road, we've got Magnussen versus Leclerc. This is for 3rd place. Both going side by side. Magnussen is up to 3rd, ahead of Leclerc, as well as we're now looking at Gasly. Jesus Christ, he broke so early there. As well, I think this looked less scary off board, but you know, that was a last-minute lunge to avoid going into the back of Pierre. Hamilton has a think about it, but we've put a car in between Hamilton and myself. As Gasly, is he going to have a look back through this middle sector? This corner's horrible. Don't want to hit that inside curve, by the way, otherwise you will be in trouble. And Gasly is going to have a run at us. As we go up the hill, we're just going to take the racing line, as we have right of way to force them out and retain P8 for now. Meanwhile, up the road, excuse me, Norris is having a battle with, I think that's Verstappen. No, it is Leclerc, excuse me, sorry. I think Magnussen was battling Verstappen earlier, actually, to get in front. Excuse me, and Norris is going to go side by side. Leclerc, excuse me, will try and go right the outside. Will keep his foot in, and a great bit of defending there from Charles Leclerc to keep P2 away from Lando Norris for now. However, Norris is going to have another go on the next lap from turn 2 into turn 3, and Norris has got the position now, and he's up to P2. Leclerc down to P3, but all that commotion has allowed me to close up. We're going to have a look around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Can't make him move there, but it has brought us into DRS range now of Carlos, which is fantastic. We have got to keep an eye out for Gasly, who is trying to impress and potentially make a move. He has a dive at that corner. We just keep our foot in, and he yields the position once again. This is now a big gap between Norris and his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo there forming as well. And we're watching Magnussen. He's been he's having a look at Leclerc as Magnussen's had a Spinala. Oh, that's such a shame for K-Mag, who's having such a good race. He hasn't had a great season, but now he's down the order, and we'll have to look to come back potentially. We've made the overtake on Sainz tries to come back at us. We have the better traction though, and that could be the move that seals the World Championship. Not that we needed it, not we need to overtake Sainz anyway, but we wanted to finish in front of him, just to finish this championship off in style really, as well. But yes, so that really should be championship over for Sainz as long as we can keep him behind, which we should be able to. Although saying that, middle sector is being a bit of a problem, especially with the damage potentially affecting us slightly through the middle sector. There's contact with Sainz. Tries to get the inside that corner there. I'm absolutely none of it. As well, as I say, we've been respectful with Sainz, but I thought that was a bit frustration from Sainz, being overtaken by me, not having the, there's been at times where Ferrari have thrown the strategy away by putting on the hard tyres as well, and now it's going to get worse because he's now battling our former teammate Gasly, who's going to help us out here, although Sainz will have DRS me out to pull in front. Just the straight line speed of that AlphaTauri, and Gasly is able to actually go around the outside even though he didn't have DRS. And now they're going side by side through into the middle sector. This is great racing between Gasly and Sainz as well. Two former Toro Rosso drivers, although Gasly's still there in this version of career mode, but Gasly is able to miss out unfortunately on Sainz, but not that it's needed, because the fact of the matter is, we're still ahead of Carlos, and that his battling has actually helped us out and allowed us to pull away. Mediums are off, softs are on. Now the charge persists. Sainz has gone on to hard, so that's Ferrari for you. Magnussen is in as well. Norris and the two Red Bulls will go past, but they aren't so far off the road. Norris might be too uncatchable. We'll have to wait and see what we can do. We've got 7 laps remaining to see. Whereas Ocon has had yet another engine issue, which has allowed him to be lapped by his own teammate. So that's bad news for Esteban as well. For us though, some team radio.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there. We're attempting to manage it.
No, Mark. We are trying to win the World Championship today by finishing ahead of Carlos Sainz, who's comfortably in front. We're catching up to Russell. Russell's had an altercation with Ocon. He's been slowed up, and we're going to have a good run out of the final corner. Now, can we get Russell? Hopefully that issue goes away and we can go and finish in P5. No! Just as we overtake Russell, the engine blows up. And I don't think I don't know if we're going to win the World Championship today or not, because I don't think we had enough points. So that is, well, fate has prevented us from winning a second World Championship at Portugal. Everyone can be cruel, but it's not over yet. Sainz did finish only in P6, so that's not great for Ferrari as well. As Ricciardo won a second race in a row as well. He's having a dominant end to his career in Formula 1 as well. But in the standings, you can see we're 58 points back. Now, I'll come back to this at the end of the video, but we're 58 points ahead of Sainz. Leclerc's had a great end of the season. Red Bull next season, if they have a good engine, they will be a team to beat against McLaren as well. Ricciardo still behind in P8, but obviously if he wins a couple more races, he's going to score more points than Piastri did as well. Russell and Norris both jump in front of Piastri. Oh, what could have been for the young Australian had he not been fired as well. McLaren Constructors Championship already, and it's pretty much a very tame end there. So yes, we've lost stuff in the rivalry as well, because although we did get the fastest lap, so 15 to 12 with, well, it says 3 races remaining. We've only got really 2 to the end of the season, and we've lost some acclaim even though we've ended. But this is the confusing thing. It says here we've won the championship. There was no cutscene where we did donuts because the engine blew up, but it says we're world champions. But I don't think we are, because if my maths is correct, there's 60 points available. You've got 25 for a win, so there's 2 of those, so that's 50 points. 8 points for winning the sprint, and 2 points for fastest lap. Now, I know it's unlikely that Science can win from here, but I don't think it should be awarding me the championship as well. So I'll find out on Monday, I guess, when we get to Brazil, if we manage to get those 2 points. So that's what we need to win the World Championship. It's frustrating we couldn't wrap it up in Portugal, but we'll try again in Brazil. So yes, if you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, see plenty more F1 22 driver career videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.